Hello and welcome. My name is Mike Rambuya, your average Joe card slinger, and today we are going to play catch up on all the Digimon TCG related news that's happened over the past week. From the end of the Card Fest and World Finals for the Digimon TCG to the news we got at Digimon Con, which was probably one of the better ones we've seen as we actually got a lot more news and stuff to talk about. So let's just get right into it, and we're just going to do a recap for today's video. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're three main things. First we're going to cover the new ban/restricted list. Some very interesting cards got put on this list, including a ban and a new ban combo. So we're going to talk about that for a quick bit. Upcoming product info, we got a look at not only a little bit closer look at BT21, but also EX10, EX9, BT22, and BT23, all of which will be out by the end of this year. So hopefully you got your wallets prepared. And lastly is the mobile app. Yes, there is a mobile app going to be in development. I do not think we will get it in 2025, but hopefully at the beginning of 2026, we will have a new mobile app for the TCG. So first things first, let's talk about the banned and restricted list. First, we're going to talk about the new banned card and banned combo. And so the new banned card is BT2 Matt Ishida. Sorry. This is very interesting because literally the only reason Matt's being banned is because of the new purple hybrids of Dustmon and Veilgramon. Because this card has been in the game for almost the full 5 years, and given basically hybrid, and not to mention it's good in a lot of purple decks, especially because we put so much purple's whole point is to put cards in the trash and pull them back out. It makes this card very, very useful. And thanks to purple hybrid, since purple hybrid can digivolve on top of it, yet it's constant. You can abuse its on play effect because you play out a tamer when you sorry, no, you don't play out a tamer, but there are effects where you can play out a tamer from those hybrids, so making it to where you're constantly putting cards in the trash and bringing it back, putting cards in the trash and bringing it back. So this card is completely banned. It cannot be used in any decks. Next up, it's very interesting, a banned combo of Mother D Reaper and Shoto Kazama. So what a banned combo means is that these two cards cannot be in the same deck. So they are not restricted, they are not banned. If you play D Reaper or D Reaper in another deck, you just cannot have Mother D Reaper and Shoto in the same deck. And the main reason of this is Mother D Reaper is a Digi-Egg, so it really doesn't have to be played out. Not to mention, you get to move this D Reaper out of the egg zone because it's technically it doesn't get treated as a Digimon, so you can move it out, and now you have a 15,000 DP Digimon. Now it can't attack, but it's not affected by your opponent's effect. However, if you have Shoto on the field, at the end of your turn, you can suspend this tamer to give one of your Digimon piercing and blocker. Blocker, of course, being the big one with Mother D Reaper. So you have a 15k blocker who cannot be removed by effects, basically. On your field. And especially since this is a Digi-Egg and you can move it out on turn 2, you have a massive blocker at the very early part of your game. So, That's basically the reason it's been a banned combo. Both cards are still usable in the TCG, unlike the BT2 Mat. Mat can't be used in any decks. These cards cannot just be used in the same deck. So the Vortex Warriors deck um, is not affected really by this because you can still play it. You just can't put these two cards in the same deck. This is the second combo we've had, so this is very interesting. So next we're going to look at restricted cards. And restricted cards just says you can only use one copy of the card. Usually you can use 4, but this is restricting it down to 1. And there's actually quite a bit. First we have Jack Raid from BT4. A lot of this is done just because of the speed of which you can get cards into the trash. It's easy to rack up 20 cards into your trash, or at least 10, and plus it's a 0 cost, so you can play this for 0 and gain 1 memory. Beelzemon, Chaos Gallantmon, Purple Hybrid, crap, I can't think of what other, I know there's other cards, Shaman decks, where you play cards from your trash. It's easier because there's so many effects that, like, oh, trash card in hand, trash at the top of the deck, or trash from your devolution pile. So because of the speed of which cards can be trashed, they've decided to restrict this card to 1. So still use it, but you can only use 1 copy. Next is actually a newer card, BT17 Fenyalugamon. It has a Wind Digivolving effect of if there's an EG Nashumi in the Digimon's evolution cards, you may play 1 Fenyalugamon or 1 Kazuchimon from your trash without paying the cost at the next end of your opponent's turn. Return that Digimon to the hand. The main reason this has been restricted to 1 is the fact that this allows you to play Kazuchimon, which can then be used to DNA Digivolve into Fenyalugamon, Kanazaki mode. There's a let me double check my notes. I cannot remember its full name, but I want to say Fenyalugamon Kanazuchi mode. I had it in my notes here, but my notes are a little messed up. Yes, that's right. Oh, so sorry. Takimi Chazuchi. So Fenyalugamon Takimi Kazuchi, is a DNA Digivolve. So you Digivolve into Fenyalugamon, so there's one part. Oh, hey, I have Mind Link with EG, so EG's underneath. I get to play Kazuchimon. Now I can DNA Digivolve into Fenyalugamon Takime choose either way, Dog with Sword mode, and right off the bat. So that's kind of why it had, and it's for free. It's not at a discount price. It's literally for free. It's a level 6, so it's like a 10, 11 cost level 6 Digimon, and you get to play it for free just because you Digivolve into this guy. So that's why this has been restricted to 1. Next up is another older card of BT4, Blinding Ray. So this is a card that allows you to trash the top 2 cards of your security and then gain 2 memory. This was more because of the growing pool of cards that allow you to trash cards from your security to gain memory, or other effects that this just adds on to the top. This just adds on to that combo, and it's a 0 cost. So you basically get 2 memory for free just by trashing the top of your security. Plus all the cards that have, hey, if a security is trashed on your turn, or if one of your security cards is trashed, trigger this effect, trigger this effect, trigger this effect. So basically, this has been restricted down to 1 because it's such a cheap and easy way to start a chain reaction. So next we have a couple of promo cards actually got restricted. So we have promo 29 Agunimon, has been restricted down to 1, and a lot of it's just saying, hey, uh, this card basically makes your level 6 Emperor, Greymon, and Ancient Garurumons um, pointless, because this has a when attacking effect of this Digimon can Digivolve into Ancient Greymon for the cost of 2, ignoring Digivolution. Then, if you do it, delete this Digimon at the end of the turn. So basically, yes, it is a one big sweeping effect, but their reasoning is that it restricts those decks to just use these cards. I'll be honest, I don't remember running into any of these cards when I was playing against Red Hybrid. Also, Lobomon Promo 30 has the same effect, so both these cards have been both these cards have been restricted to 1. I'm not a meta person, I'm just going, but so you want to go check out Avolt, East. They'll do better explaining about whether it's actually a good restrictor or not. I personally never ran into a whole lot when I was playing against red hybrids or any type of hybrids, but I understand that a lower cost go from 4 to 6, and yes, you have to delete the Digimon at the end of the turn, but depending on your turn and depending on other effects you get trigger, that Digimon can still do a lot of damage, and that makes the game apparently unstable. So that's when that one got restricted, at least according to there. I will put links down for everything so you can check it out yourself. Next up, the card that I think a lot of players were asking for was the BT11 Mirage Gyogamon. He has a Wind Digivolve effect of return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. If no Digimon was returned by this effect, your opponent adds the top card of their security stack to their hand. Then, all turns once per turn, when in effect adds cards to your hand, gain 1 memory for every 4 cards your opponent has. And the big reason here is just because of the other effects that are returning cards to your opponent's hand, makes this very, very irritating deck to play against, because your opponent's going to have a lot of cards in hand because A, there's no hand limit, and B, you're constantly just throwing things back in there, basically wiping out your opponent's field. So that's why this card was restricted. I believe this was the card that a lot of people wanted it to be hit, so it's been hit. It's been restricted down to 1. It'll be interesting to see how much use Mirage Gyogamon will get after this. Another weird one that I found interesting was the starter deck Stingmon. This is from ST9. This was one of the starter decks you can get that introduced DNA Digivolution 4. And it's interesting because, basically, because of the current pool of DNA cards allow you, especially because I played against a couple of Imperial Germans a couple weekends ago. Because there's so many ways now to get the Stingmon out for free, to where now you can be like, oh, I get the Stingmon out, and now I can play a blue card for 1 less, and now I can DNA Digivolve into Paleodramon. So that was one of the biggest reasons, is because it made the early game unstable, because it's a level 4, there's plenty of effects to get to play out a level 4 card for free, especially in these the Imperial Dramon tool set, and so they're like, hey, you know what, we're just going to restrict this card to 1. And the last restricted card announced was another one I found interesting, was Kazuhamon. So this more goes into the fact of this, because there's so many effects that can lower your Digivolution cost, and Kazuyamon also gets treated as Sakuyamon. When his Wind Digital effect can be triggered, hey, use an option card with a cost 5 or less in your hand without paying the cost. They did mention the new Talmon Ace was another big reason. So they restricted this to one, so we can still use a lot of Talmon. A lot of it's just, hey, and I think it's more of the your turn once per turn effect here of when you use an option card with cost less 2 or more, you may play a Talmon or level 4 or lower yellow or blue Digimon card from this solution. Talmon has an effect of where on play when digivolving, it can play out an option. So you digivolve into Kazuyamon on top of a Talmon Ace. Now you play out the Talmon Ace. Hey, now I can play another option from my hand. Oh look, it's an option to digivolve into another Kazuyamon Ace. Okay, so now I get to digivolve. It's there's a green chip. There's a green. Yeah, there's a green option card that lowers. I mean, and it's just option cards. This is not even the chips anymore, or the plugins. Sorry, these are not even the plugins. These are just option cards. So hey, let's do any cards that reduce Digivolution. So there is a Digivolution green plugin card. You could play that, lower the cost. Oh look, now I can digivolve into Kazuyamon. Oh look, now I can get Kazuyamon to trigger its effect. Oh, I get to play another option. Oh look, I got to play an option. I'm going to put a Talmon out. Oh look, is that Talmon that allows me to play an option card. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And so they're like, you know what? Since this card is saying any options that are 5 or less, we're just going to restrict it to 1. So, yeah, so those are all the new bans and restrictions. I apologize for blabbering it. Again, if you want more in-depth stuff, I suggest go find some like East or A-Vault, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. But these effects do, these bans and restrictions do take effect on the 28th of this month. So pretty much right in time for a couple of events. So it'll be interesting to see how much it changes. People's gameplay. I know Purple Hybrid probably took the biggest hit, and actually a lot of purple decks that like to use Matt to pull stuff out of the trash probably took a big hit. But yeah, so that is all our new ban and unrestricted updates. So now we're actually going to get to products. So here's what's going on product wise. So first, during the show we got some trailer stuff we got some more info, or at least a little bit more look at BT21, which comes out at the time of this recording next month. Pre-releases, so the new starter decks we are getting on April 18th, and then a week after that will be the full release of BT21 World Convergence. But we also got some more details about EX9, BT22, BT23, and EX10, all of which are coming out this year in kind of rapid succession. So first, EX9, which will be the first set after World Convergence to come out, will be coming out in June. And so they showed off the Metal Greymon card. Lots of going on as far as traits in my opinion. You have Cyborg, Digital Monster DM, and Version 1. Reminder that this set, EX9, is versus monsters. It's supposed to be taking Digimon from the first 5 VPETs to introduce them into the game. So some new cards or some new support for some existing cards may happen. So it has, when this card would be played by trashing 1 Cyborg or 1 version trait from your hand, reduce the cost by 2, so it makes it a 5. So it's almost like an ace card at that point, because it's only 7 costs, lower it down to 5. That's about the cost of some ace cards. Has an on-play and win digital effect of placing 1 Digimon card from your trash face down as the Digimon's bottom Digivolution. Then delete up to 5,000 DP's worth of your opponent's Digimon. For each of this Digimon's face down Digivolution cards, add 2,000 to the effect. So this is definitely one you want to add after you are stacked up to get the Wind Digivolving to trigger. But the concept of these face down Digivolution cards is going to be very interesting because you're going to get more triggers on just having the number of the face down Digivolution effects and not the inheritables. So this actually kind of could expand your tool set, because now it's not seriously, oh, I need to make sure my heritage stack up to make this really powerful. It's like, hey, I don't really have a use for this card right now, but I'm able to sneak it under this Digimon, and now I can trigger effect like this. So we'll see how this face down Digivolution mechanic works out. On top of that, we got a look at a few arts for BT22, which is Cyber Eden, which is coming out in July. So we have Yuko, we have Arata, and we have Nokia. So these are probably going to be the Chase alt art cards, but for each tamer, I am curious if that means most of these are going to be in the super rares category, but it looks good. It looks interesting. So I'm excited for it. Cyber Sleuth has definitely helped reignite my love for Digimon, and so seeing more Arata support, which also means we get more Diaboromon support, and possibly we may see Eaters. They did also show in the Worlds Finals an art of an Eater. So the Eaters from Cyber Sleuth will be in the game. I have a feeling they're going to play very much the same as the D-Reapers. But what also was exciting is that for EX10, which will be coming out in September, so just to recap, BT21 is next month in April. EX9 is June. BT22 Cyber Eden is July. We'll get August off, and then in September we are going to get EX10 Sinister Order, which is our villain themed deck, and they gave us artwork of another villain we'll see, which is Apoclymon. So Apoclymon's going to get a second chance at life. For those who are not aware, Apoclymon got restricted due to the time difference between Japan and world release. They decided, hey, Apoclymon is going to be restricted because it's a bit too powerful for the current deal. The thing is, worldwide hadn't had it yet. So when the set that had Apoclymon came out, the world got a month, I want to say a month or month and a half use of Apoclymon unrestricted, and then it was restricted. And if I remember right, that time span there weren't a lot of like the regionals or ultimate cups, so you really didn't get to test it out unless just at your locals. So new Apoclymon, we'll see what effects it will come with, but I'm glad to see that Apoclymon is going to get a second chance. So we'll get that in September, and then in October we are getting BT23, which is called Hacker Slumber, which they showed off a key art of Erica. So this is very exciting for me because I was kind of worried that they're going to try to cram everything from the Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory game into one set, but looks like the first two base sets after BT21 is going to be a Cyber Sleuth focus set and then a Hacker's Memory photo set. And with Erica being introduced, with this artwork of Erica being introduced, hopefully that means then we're going to see Hoodiemon and all the care and some interesting traits from Hacker's Memory. But again, it's very interesting that we're both getting that for Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. Each are getting a set, so I am excited about that. Next up, product-wise, there is going to be a LM limited. It's a limited set. 06 of Limited Bullet. It's going to have some reprints. The major thing from that set is similar to some of the two-color memories we got in the other LM set, like Grape Memory Boost. We're going to get a new set of Memory Boosts in there that's going to cover like red, purple, and yellow, green, and what was another one? I know red, purple, and yellow, green are the ones that stuck out to me. I can't remember the name right now, but right now that's you can order that through Premier Bandai. I do not think they're going to put this in stores like they did the special set. I think the special set did not sell well. So this is going to be strictly you pre-order from Premier Bandai. It's $30 USD, but if you want that set, go to Premier Bandai, and you can pre-order there. And the last thing is there's a new Evolution box. In the Evolution box, we got two previews. So there's going to be these 12 cards, and they look like this. So they're the gold text. We have very interesting ones. We have Bloomlord, Venusmon, Death X. Of course, we have Omnimon, Jesmon EX, Shoutmon X7, Magnamon X Antibody, Medieval, Gallantmon, which to be honest is my favorite artwork out of these. We have Hexablaumon, Trubimon Ace was an interesting one, but to be honest, I do like the design of that with the lightning in the background, and then Livamon. As of recording, they've already gone through two waves of pre-orders, and they're sold out. So, unfortunately, I do not know if you're going to be able to get one. But keep an eye out on the official Twitter, as when they do another round, you're definitely going to want to make sure you hop on and get it. It is $200 USD, so it's a bit pricey, but the Evolution box is these 12 cards, a playmat, 2 sets of sleeves, 150 count, 15 count, and a leather case that holds like your dice, your mat, and then your various decks. So it's not like you just get these 12 cards for 200. You get more than that. But yeah, right now it's currently sold out. Hopefully the third wave. I wouldn't hold my breath though. All right, next up is the mobile app. Yes, so finally after 5 years, and I know a lot of people asking, we're going to get a new mobile app for the game, and it's not a Toro app. So the new app is going to be called Digimon Alencian. And here is the key art for it. So this is going to be a game, but it did show off deck building. It will have packs opening similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, Duel Links, and Pokemon TCG, even the pocket versions. But it will have matchmaking, deck building. It may have a side grow your own Digimon, like Digimon Tamagotchi thing, and as well as a story mode, as all these characters are gonna, and you see in the image here, are going to be introduced, and we have a new Digimon, the one above the black here, one called Gemmon. So as far as we know, this is supposed to be a story mode. This will be deck building and whatnot. Like I said, we probably will not see this in 2025. They are supposed to do an open beta, but more than likely we will see this in full release in 2026, which I'm not going to be too angry about, because at least we're getting it. But it seems to be happening kind of like in the same world as Liberator. Because during the trailer there's a visor. I will put a link to the official site of this project in the description down below, so you can check it out for yourself. But hey, it is something, and a official way to play the game digitally, to even maybe collect the game digitally, for those that maybe don't want to buy the physical cards or can't buy the physical cards, but they can still at least play the game. And it'll be interesting what the story mode's like. Supposedly there also will be cards released specifically for this game. So there will be cards in there that you can't get in the TCG right away, but I have a feeling that they would release those cards maybe in an own Digimon Alencian box set, similar to Cyber Sleuth. So that's all the TCG news I kind of wanted to glance over. Again, I'll put links down below so you can follow it for yourself. But there's some other news I do want to talk about. So other news is that Digimon Liberator is getting another arc. There will be a time skip between the end of this current one and the start of a new one. I want to say that's going to start actually pretty soon, but I can't remember the times. I want to say it starts in May of this year. But yeah, so there will be a second arc coming, which I'm excited for. I've enjoyed reading The Liberator so far. I definitely need to get caught up, but you know, that means the story series is at least well enough for them to continue it, and that makes me excited because that means we get more Digimon, possibly some more Digivolutions from being introduced into that set for Digimon that may have been forgotten, but also just more Digimon properties for us to consume and see what creativity they have. But on top of the popular comic series continuing on, we do have a new anime called Beat Break coming out. It's supposed to air this October 2025. I'm curious if its whole thing is about digital creatures that apparently are eating emotions or something to that extent. So that should be interesting. I'll put a link to that as well. The hero kind of has a more quote-unquote edgy or darker tone, so I'm curious if we're going to get a more serious character right off the bat, maybe a quote-unquote colder character that will then expand out to a maybe grows to be a bit kinder for those around him, but we'll see. Either way, a new anime is coming this October, so I'm excited for it, and of course, more opportunities for new Digimon to be created and for new cards to be added. And lastly, of course, is Time Stranger. We didn't get a confirmed release date for Time Stranger, but we know there's going to be like 450 Digimon. This is going to take place in the ELAD server. This is the home of the Olympus 12. One of the main girl who will partner with you, her partner Digimon is going to be Agumon, which is the more common rookie for Digimon like Jupitermon. And so it's going to be very interesting. This is not go. So as we're going to go between the human world and the digital world, there's going to be some time manipulation stuff like that. No release date, but hopefully soon. It'll maybe a holiday release. We will see. But I'm excited for it. I had fun with, like I said, Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory rejuvenated my love for the series, and so I'm super excited to see this series kind of almost have a good year. Not to mention there was more crossover toys with Godzilla and other items such as that. So yeah, so that's going to be it for TCG wise. I do apologize for all the blabbering, but I'm excited for the series. The TCG, the new anime, new video game, a mobile game hopefully coming out in 2026 after good testing in 2025. And so right now it feels good to be a Digimon fan, and hopefully we will get to see the fruits of their labors and hopefully gain more people to enjoy this series and have more people to play the card game with. But that's enough of me yapping. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you watched Digimon Con, let me know what you were excited for. Let me know what cards you're hoping are showing up in BT22 or BT23. And without further ado, have a great day, be safe, may your polls be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.